All right, thanks, guys. Happy Friday to you. Thank God it's Friday, man. The weekend is finally here. I know I can certainly use a weekend here, and I know a lot of you out there can use a nice weekend as well. Now, guys, we are currently at 62% in our last 26 board member package plays on my Patreon website. We're also hitting at 63% in our last 16 college basketball package plays on that site as well. We do premium picks on that website. And at the end of the show, I will kind of break it down and tell you the difference between what I do here on YouTube and that Patreon page. But anyway, link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, we have ourselves a small slate of college basketball action. And like I explained to you guys the other day, normally what I do with my background, all it is just a giant big screen TV. And I fire up the Xfinity television app in the background, and that's what brings up the games. Well, they did an update on the app, and they don't bring up as many college basketball games anymore. So a lot of the games that I'll be covering, I guess from here on out, will be not on our board in the back. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. And these are probably two schools you're not following closely. But our first game is Gardner Webb taking on Kennesaw State, and that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Gardner Webb is the 10-point favorite on the road, total at 134. Now we saw a half a point move toward Gardner Webb and movement downward on the total. They opened as the 9.5-point favorite, up to -10. Total opened 134.5, down to 134 even. Now Kennesaw State really struggling against the number and overall for the year. They're 0-8 straight up on the year. Still looking to get that first win. They're also 2-6 against the spread in those 8 games. They lost, just to give it an idea of the resume, they lost by 18 points to UNC Greensboro. They lost by 24 to Elon. They lost by 23 to Iona, and they lost by 31 to Monmouth. This Kennesaw State squad, they scored 62 points or less in 7 out of their last 8 games. They're covering just 25% of their games when catching the points. And they're just 1-5 against the spread, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest, ironically. Now, Gardner Webb on the other side, pretty good against the number. 5-2 against the spread when traveling. They're led by Eric Jamison, who's scoring 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Jose Perez, 13 points a game, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists for him. And Jaheim Cornwall, 11 points a game, 3 rebounds as well. Total-wise, Kennesaw State 6-2 to the under for the year. I'm going to lean toward the road chalk in this one. Give me Gardner Webb -18. Man, let's try that again. Give me Gardner Webb -10 and the under 134 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our next matchup, and that's a game that's actually on the big screen in the back. That is going to be Colorado taking on Colorado State, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup. The Buffaloes of Colorado, they're the 6-point favorite on the road, total at 140. Saw a 1.5-point move toward Colorado in movement upward on the total. The Buffaloes open 4.5 up to -6. Total open 136 up to 140. 65% of the consensus are leaning toward the Buffaloes, 53% shaded toward the over. And right now the Rams of Colorado State are plus 225 on the money line. Now Colorado State, 4-2 straight up in their last 6. Pretty impressive resume. They've won outright against the likes of San Diego State, Washington State, and Loyola Chicago. They're shooting 47% from the field. They're also shooting 36% from downtown. Nico Carvacho, 13 points a game, 10 rebounds for him. Isaiah Stevens, 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. And Adam Thistlewood, 10 points a game, 4 rebounds for Colorado State. Now the Buffaloes on the other side, losers in their last 2 straight. They've also failed to cover in their last 6 straight games, really struggling against the number as of late. They're averaging just 68 points per contest, and they're shooting just 40% from the field. Now defensively, their opponents are shooting 39% from downtown. And, well, offensively, they're shooting just 35% from the field when traveling. Now, 3 out of Colorado's last 5 did get over the number. Meanwhile, Colorado State is 6-3 to the over in their last 9 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me Colorado State +6 in the over 140 in that contest. All right, next matchup. Not sure why it's not on the board, but anyway, our next matchup is Nebraska taking on Indiana. and that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that contest. The Hoosiers are the 16.5-point favorite, total at 148.5. We saw a half a point move toward Indiana and movement downward on the total. The Hoosiers open as the 16-point favorite, up to minus 16.5. Total open 151, down to 148.5. 64% are leaning Indiana, 66% shaded toward the under. And right now the Cornhuskers are plus 1,200 on the money line. Now Nebraska has some marquee wins over the likes of South Florida, Washington State, and San Diego State. They also are averaging 74 points per contest. Hanif Cheatham, 13 points a game, 5 rebounds. He's also shooting 57% from the field. And Cam Mack, 12 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Huskers. Now, Indiana, on the other side, they failed to cover in 2 out of their last 4. They scored just 64 points or less in 3 out of their last 4 games as well. When it comes to this total, Indiana 70% to the under overall for the year, 6-2 to the under at home. Meanwhile, Nebraska I totally jacked that up here, guys. Disregard those figures on the total there. Nebraska 7-2 to the over thus far in the year. That's what I wanted to cover. Anyway, I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. I'm also just going to purchase the half a point just because. Buy it up and take Nebraska plus 17 and the over 148.5 in that game. Wow, that was a tough read there. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, it is Friday, and I just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for college basketball. And like I said, it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Happy Friday. The weekend is finally here. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do premium picks on that website beginning at just $1.99 per month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to on that website. We're currently hitting at 62% our last 26 board member package plays on that site. We're also hitting at 63% our last 16 college basketball package plays on that site as well. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, dude, why would I pay for your Patreon page when you're just giving me the info for free right here on YouTube? And I see where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. But at the end of this program, I will explain the difference between why Patreon is much more beneficial to be a part of than just listening to me throw darts and pick every game on the board here on YouTube. So I will explain that at the end of the program. If you're curious about my Patreon record, you can actually take a look at that for free right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. It's right on the homepage, and that is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, I got 2 more games to cover. Let's go ahead and get into them. This is a mouthful. Don't get the wrong idea, by the way. I'm talking about University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, the Vaqueros. That's right, they're the Cowboys, but they're literally the Vaqueros. Vaqueros, which is cowboy in Spanish. So once again, UT Rio Grande Valley taking on Creighton. And that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Of course, Creighton is the 18-point favorite in this matchup here. Total at 141. Believe it or not, we did see a 1-point fade of Creighton and movement upward on the total. The Blue Jays open as the 19-point favorite, down to minus 18. Total open 140, up to 141. 70% of the consensus are leaning toward Creighton. 65% shaded toward the over. And right now, UTRGV, they are plus 1675 on the money line. Now, Texas Rio Grande Valley has failed to cover in 5 out of the last 6 games. Meanwhile, Creighton on the other side, they're averaging 77 points per contest. They're shooting 47% from the field. They're also shooting 38% from downtown. Now, a couple more things to add about Creighton. They're scoring 82 points per contest at home this year. They're also shooting 49% from the field at home, and they're shooting 41% from downtown at home. Marcus Zagorowski, 19 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He's shooting 39% from downtown. And Tyshawn Alexander, 17 points a game, 6 rebounds for him. Mitch Ballack, 13 points a game, 5 rebounds for Mitch. So this Creighton squad, they do have the ability to put points up. They have a bunch of scorers. And when it comes to this total, ironically, Creighton's 3-2 to the under in their last 5. Meanwhile, UTRGV, they're 4-2 to the under in their last 6. So with all that said and done, I'm going to fade the Vaqueros. Give me Creighton minus 18 and the under 141 in that game. And of course, I'm going to slide my next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Prairie View taking on Loyola Marymount. 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Now, the Lions of Loyola Marymount, they are the 6.5-point favorite at home, total at 134.5. Believe it or not, we did see a 0.5-point fade of Loyola and movement downward on the total. The Lions open as the 7-point favorite, down to minus 6.5. Total open 135, down to 134.5. And at the moment, Loyola Marymount, they are minus 290 on the money line. I think Loyola should get the job done here. I'm not going to dive too much into this one. I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it down, and take Loyola Marymount, the Lions, minus 6, and the over 134.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are currently hitting at 62% in our last 26 board member package plays. We're also hitting at 63% in our last 16 college basketball package plays on that website. I like Loyola Marymount minus 6 in the over 134.5. Creighton minus 18 under 141. Nebraska plus 17 over 148.5. Colorado State plus 6 over 140. And last but certainly not least, I like Gardner Webb minus 10 in the under 134 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Shout out to Johnny Pastrana, Juanito 1975, J2 Young, Chibaku Tensei, Blacks Blazer, Cam Nysock, Filioso, also known as the Philly Bear. Shout out to Layla W, Lane Eternal Master, Westside Wayne, Terrell 757. Shout out to Eric Brown, Hustle Wilson, Overton Span, Ryan Stevens, Scotty Farrell, Jeremiah 23. Also shout out to Alima Tube, Charlotte P, Martinez Tiskus, and last but certainly not least, gotta give a shout out to my man Vernon Williard. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on Patreon, where once again we do daily premium picks on that website, beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Once again, we're currently hitting at 62% in our last 26 board member package plays on that site. We're also hitting at 63% in our last 16 college basketball package plays on that site as well. Now, I know what you're thinking. I said it before. I'll say it again. You're probably like, dude, why would I sign up for your Patreon page? You just gave me a whole slate of games for free right here on YouTube. Well, I'll tell you what we do here on YouTube. We handicap every single game side and total. I don't take free passes. I don't say take the underdog or pass, or I don't say, oh, this is a stay away game. I formulate an opinion on every single game side and total. Here's the problem with that, right? If you were to bet your hard-earned money on every single game side and total, it's just too many games. The math is always against you. The books are too smart. They're too sharp. They have too much damn money to withstand the swings. So what we do on Patreon is we really narrow it down and focus in on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're high percentage selections. They're games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much. My current record on Patreon is a whole lot better than it is on YouTube, just throwing darts, picking with my eyes closed. So if you want to check out my current record for free, you can do that right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. My record is right on the homepage. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I do have to thank you for watching me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you on patreon.com/BrockPage.